The consequence is that the flows of income are redistributed in the direction of monetary flows. First, by means of pressure on labor, secondly, by so-called accumulation by dispossession, and third, by increasing productivity, or by establishing a regime of acceleration of production and transport in time. This is the same once again. I skip it and go to the data presented by the IMF in one of the last World Economic Reports, showing very clear. This is the first time that the IMF has a chapter in this World Economic Report on the effects of globalization on labor, and it shows very clearly that the share of labor and independent on how you measure it is declining. Since 1980 here, but also in the decade before, it already declined. It declined by 5 to 10 points, from more than 70 in some countries to 60 and even less. That is a large reduction of the share of labor in income. That is one of the consequences of this so-called financial repression. This is the trend. The data come from a German institute. The line, the thick line is Germany, and the pointed line is the United States, but the tendency is the same, and in the case of Italy, I am sure the differences are of course there, but the trend is the same. That is pressure on wages as a consequence of financial repression. The second method is so-called accumulation by dispossession. This is an expression used by David Harvey, an American social geographer, who wrote a book on the new imperialism, and showing many, many methods and examples for this accumulation by dispossession. It links its ideas to the writing of Rosa Luxemburg in her accumulation of capital. And there is a transfer, without any doubt, you can show it with figures from the global south to the global north, and also from the have-nots to the haves, which partly explains why hunger and poverty in the world is increasing and not decreasing. You know that the Millennium Development Goals from 2000, which have been established by the United Nations, are not reached. The poverty is not reduced until 2015. It should be reduced by 50%, but it will not be reduced. It will increase, and the same is the case with hungry people. The number increased above 1 billion, as I already mentioned, and it did not decrease from 920, that was a year ago, to half of it. That was the development goal. That takes not place, and that is also an expression for, yes, it is the consequence of the economic crisis and the ecological crisis, but it is an expression of a moral crisis of humanity. That humanity, although it is so rich, richer than ever before in history, is not able to reduce poverty and to reduce hunger in the world, and to give everybody a decent meal per day. That this is not possible is a scandalon, is an expression of a moral crisis in the world. But let me quickly turn to the third method, that is the increase of productivity in order to increase the surplus to be distributed, and distributed also to the financial capital. and there are a lot of hindrances to increase productivity. I will not touch upon all the reasons. Who is interested in that should read the writings of the regulation school, who have a lot written about the limits of increasing productivity. But also here, the ecological issue is of utmost importance, because you only can increase productivity by accelerating all processes. Increase of productivity is nothing else than acceleration. You produce more in less time. That is the increase of productivity. You make everything faster. And in order to do that, you need fossil energy. At the technological, on the level of the technological paradigm which we are following. So that you have to use fossil energy today in order to increase productivity, in order to be better in terms of competitiveness on the world markets. And fossil energy is a limited resource, and as I already said, we are facing a peak oil that is the climax, the peak of oil production. And I did not mention until now the negative impact of the combustion of fossil energy on the global climate. Well, because of the increasing claims of financial investors, on the one hand, the increasing attractiveness of financial markets, higher interest rates in order to be better and more attractive than the others. That is, more claims of financial investors on the one hand, and on the other, in real terms, less surplus produced by the real economy to service these growing claims of the financial sector. Therefore, we have a growing gap between the financial side of the economy and the real side or dimension of the economy. That is what happens and what is the reason, the cause of the financial crisis of today. This is once again explaining what I already said.